Hey, RAD Company, RAD 27 back here, and I have another awesome episode of what I'm going to coin this series called Cracking the Code. And this is a series in which you're unfamiliar that we go through, well, I go through every single line of code per map, all the way from World at War to Black Ops 2, and I'm slowly working my way through all the games. Now, it takes me hours and hours. It took me about 8 to 9 hours to read through probably like 100,000 lines of code to try and figure out if I could find anything. So it's very possible I miss some things, and we'll still find some new Easter eggs, but there are some incredibly interesting things that are really big deal that I found so far in the Shangri code. That was the most voted for one last time. So if you want another map, again, tell me. I think Kino is going to be the next one I do just because of how popular it was. But everybody else, tell me in the comments below because there's so much in this code. And there's actually one thing at the end that has been driving me nuts, and me and my buddy Roland here, we're trying to figure out if this actually exists or not. So I will probably update the end of the video if it does happen that way, but let's just get into it. So I do have notes, so we don't have to sit through all the lines of code, and these are all the files I found important or relevant or had decent information. So the first one, we are in Zombie Temple, and this is pretty much the main body of the entire game. And like certain names, sometimes it's called EE, sometimes it's SQ for side quests for the Easter eggs. But there's also many other files, which you guys are probably going to be curious about. So line 919. So let's go to line 919. Line 919 is showing us all the weapons here. So we can see all the weapons. And what I find interesting is that they'll show things like the M1911, and they'll have commented Colt 357, Gewehr, Thompson, MP40 bar for the AK-74U, and they're kind of showing the equivalence of it all, which is very interesting. But what's more interesting is that they have 2 extra shotguns in here. One of them's the Olympia, just named differently. I think that was the Rotwell 72, but the Ithaca isn't in the game. And if you look it up, it's a very similar looking shotgun to the Olympia, so I don't know if they combine both those models or not, but they are, you know, initialized in the game for weapons that should be in the game, which is interesting. Another thing with this list, too, is the JGB is on this initial list, the wonder weapon for this map, but it does show up on a different list. But this is all big initialization of include weapons. So you have your frag, your claymore. I think what's cool down here is that the special weapons, under weapons special here, you have zombie symbol monkey, ray gun upgraded, crossbow, and ballistic knife are also included under the weapon special. So that's something to keep in mind, and I think is very interesting. We're going to go to our next bit of code here. In the next bit of code, I have a lot of lines here for something very important. Now, this was at 927, so let's go to line 927. And there's a reason this is important. Remember back then, people were saying a rocket ship launches into space after the monkeys jump into the temple. It's a very common Easter egg that people forget about very quickly. So this is something I want to point out because this is when the monkey escapes the temple with the power-up. And right here, it says launch monkey. So the monkey's launching into the air, which is something very interesting. Hard-coded launch location behind the temple, and it shows us the temple. And then we have our monkey being launched into the air, which is very interesting. Like, this isn't a spaceship. People always thought some kind of spaceship gets shot up into the air. It's actually the monkey. Now, how we interpret that in our game itself, you know, is up to us for the storyline-wise. But the way Treyarch was interpreting it is the monkeys shoot themselves up into the air. And I think that's something that's really cool to keep in mind. So we go down a little bit to 1020 in the code, line 1020. We actually have a special bonus if you kill the monkey that you get 500 points if they don't touch you. And that's kind of cool to see these things implemented in the code in such ways that just like, hey, you know, you get a free 500 points. And I'm sorry my mouse doesn't show up well on this, so it shows up well on my screen, but not there. So I do apologize for that. A little inconvenience. Now, 1040 in this code has me absolutely perplexed here. And I was doing all sorts of testing with it, and it was like, oh my goodness. So, line 1040, we have the Rotwell 72 upgraded. And it's really interesting that that's supposed to be the Olympia. And it says mod rifle bullet, so you should have, that should be the modded rifle bullet, so that should be the Dragon's Breath. And it says Monkey Temple Dragon Breath Flame Death. So I guess that's the animation, because I was testing it out. That should be the animation for the monkey burning to death. And I was testing that out, and the monkey does burn to death. But the way it was named, I was going crazy, like Monkey Temple Dragon's Breath Flame Death. Because it sounded like the fire was coming out of the dragons, but it's now that I have had time they actually programmed in a special flame death for the monkeys, which is cool. Line 1208 is another really cool line here that we're going to go to. And this Easter egg, well, I guess it's not Easter egg, but this functionality is cool because the power-up cycle, it's something that you might have always been curious about, that they actually remove the fire sale once you get to a certain round. So I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. They remove the fire sale if you're not up to a certain round. They don't want players to get a fire sale too early. It's actually right here in the code. You know, I should start highlighting things. Yeah, I'll start doing that. It's right here in the code where it says remove fire sale. Players cannot get the fire sale too early. So it's like if, you know, less than round 1, round is less than 1 array, you can't have it. They take it out of the array, and you can only have your nuke, your double point. Or actually, I think they remove the nuke as well. That's why you always have like double points, insta kill, Carpenter, and max ammo. Or like if you're gonna drop it round 1, those are the only things you'll get, which is really cool that that's hard coded in. The perk bottle, I was thinking you guys probably think that's would be cool. That's line 1241, if I can find it here. Add perk bottle for max ammo, and that's really neat how that was coded in the game. You know, it's secret. We all know it, but in case you guys forgot about it, if you get a max ammo drop, it adds the perk bottle to the array, so it's a possibility to get it, and then you can end up getting the perk bottle in whatever way. What was also cool is they always said, like, the max ammo will always be last, as you can see here, which is a really, really cool idea to me, that they made sure this is all randomized up here, all the different drops as the rounds go on, but the max ammo was always the last before it cycles back through. So I wondered, like, again, the perk bottle will be randomized as well, but, you know, it's some cool testing aspects and things to think about. And then 1827, there's a really, I gotta go down here this way. 1827 in this file, in this script actually, monkey zombie grenade pickup. They actually throw the grenades back just like the ones in Ascension do, and no one really tosses grenades because it's not that smart, but it's still an interesting feature that the monkeys throw the grenades back. Like, how cool is that? I mean, it's been there and we've seen it, but that's still just cool little things to take note of. As we continue through, like, there's so many more things I'm so excited to show you. So this is the side quest. Now this I'm about to show you could be the best kept secret in Shangri-La. There's possibly 3 other candidates, but there's nothing with the mountains. Let me get that out of the way. I went through everything, all right? So I haven't gone through the image and sound files because I don't know how I do that exactly. But right now, just for the code, the single code inside of it, there's nothing with the Shangri-La Mountains, no crazy name. There's no secret script for mountains, doesn't exist. Get that out of your head. But this is something that no one's talked about. And we go to our Zombie Temple side quest, and we'll go to line 54 because it's way toward the beginning. And this starts talking about our Easter egg. And at line 54, they are showing us in the side quest all the steps, the sundials. You press the sundial buttons. And then they actually have different names for these, which is really cool. They had a lot of really cool names, and I appreciate the way you share comments on them. I can't remember any off the top of my head here, so I'm not going to waste your time. But right here is the end, is one of the end things. And it says anti-115. So we're going to go down a little more, and we're going to get more into this. 87 here. And it starts talking about if, like, can you do this side quest and you need the previous Call of the Dead. Well, you don't need the Golden Rod to do this side quest, but it takes it into account whether it shows up in the HUD or not. If you've gotten the Golden Rod, and in the code itself, Vril is listed. Zombie HUD icon Vril, which is so cool. We have Vril. It is Vril. They're referring to the Goldenrod as a Vril device, as they have in radios, but it was hard-coded in before the Moon radios. This is a Vril device. This is all the things that can show up in your HUD. And then look at what we got right here. Zombie HUD icon Meteor, and it's referred to as anti-115. Think about that. Anti-115. This focusing stone is anti-115. We've never, ever thought about this. No one has ever talked about this. I've never heard any discussion about anti-115. That is possibly the best kept secret in Shangri-La, that the focusing stone is anti-115. Like, I don't know what to do with this information. That's so crazy to me. But we will continue. There's a couple more lines. 162, again, just to prove to you that's the focusing stone. That's 115. We go side quest icon. Anti-115, it's adding, add perk array. You add all the perks when you pick it up.
Events bag gain perks. You're getting all the perks once again for picking it up, and that's anti-115 is giving you all those perks. It's mind-blowing. Okay, so we're moving on, which is also cool, by the way. I'll try and show some things over in the black area of video footage of proving some of this stuff, but like right here, oh wait, where is it? Force Eclipse Watcher, and all it does is hide the meteor. Yeah, right here. Reveal meteor when you go into Eclipse mode. It's always there. So if you shoot Mustang and Sally, you actually get it to hit the meteor, even though it's daytime. But if you shoot right to the right, it'll keep flying into the skybox. So that's something that's really, really cool to me. So let's go to line 402. And I thought this was just cool because we always just call it buttons or whatever, but they're actually called sundial buttons. Just something for you guys to know about, just for terms and knowledge and all that. Again, add side quests. So it's as soon as you load into the map, it's checking if you had these side quests previously completed. So a lot of people are always curious, like, do I need to have the Call of the Dead stuff completed to do certain parts of the Easter egg? You don't have to have Call of the Dead completed, I think, to do Shangri-La's Easter egg, but for Moon's Easter egg, you need them both. And we can actually see as early as Shangri-La that they're calling back to side quests and stuff like that. So if we scroll down a little bit more to 58, we actually see anti-115. It's actually the setting up the variables for it. Get side quest anti-115, target name, show anti-115, Pack-a-Punch Watcher, puts the Pack-a-Punch down only when you complete the Easter egg, complete stage. So, I mean, like, it's mind-blowing to me that we actually had anti-115 in the game, something integral in Treyarch's storyline that we've never figured out. So that's definitely an Easter egg that we did not know about. For this one here, bothers the shit out of me for the way they're labeling everything, and I have not found radios 1 through 9. Radio 9. We only have 8 radios in Shangri-La. We've only known 8 radios in Shangri-La. And I wonder if you complete the side quest a certain amount of time, like complete the side quest, like allow for this amount of time to keep spawning the radios until you do it 4 times or the max amount of players stop spawning the radios, because you can continue to get the focusing stone for every player, which is really awesome for the Shangri-La Easter egg. It's so cool that you can do that. But that Radio 9, I don't know if that's the last radio or not where the whole loop occurs, or if there's a secret 9th radio we haven't found. I can't find any proof, and I can't find any pointers or anything to tell me where it should be, but that is something we're going to have to live with and see if people can find. So we're going to go to the next one, which is Brock. And this is something, all right, I got to prepare you for, all right? I don't want to hear these crazy, crazy theories after I show you this. So I'm showing this to you guys in good faith. But there is no connection right now that we know of. But it is interesting, the full name of Brock, all right? So here, they actually call Brock Russman. Brock Russman is his full name. And as we know, we have a character called Russman later on in Zombies. So we don't know if they just wanted to reuse the name because it was never brought up or anything like that. But this handles all setup, voice acting, and corpse locations for Brock Russman. So that's just, there's no real corpse location. It's just showing you where the stuff goes. So here they referred to him as Brock Russman, so they might play off that in the future, but there's nothing to date. They are not the same person. It is not Russman from Transit, because the voice actors are different. It's completely different storyline. They don't even sound the same in many instances. It wouldn't make sense for Russman to have been part of Shangri-La. So let's just keep going. So the next one is our side quest. Oh, here's one of them. And Zombie Temple side quest stage 4. And they call it Pass the Torch. And that's why PTT, Pass the Torch, PTTT. So that's really cool. And at line 263, yes. Oh, there's also a 5-minute limit. So if you guys were curious about that. How long, when you need the napalm zombie, it only takes you 5 minutes. And then it'll reset. So it's kind of nice to know how much time you have. But line 263, that was a good jump there. Start trash compactor sounds. So, I mean, again, it's just sound files, but like Treyarch refers to Shangri-La having a trash compactor when the walls are coming in on them. So it's interesting to think about Shangri-La being so sophisticated that they might have had a trash compactor. Now, again, we can't look too much into some of the naming in this stuff because it's code, all right? It's not an end-all, but certain things like the anti-115 is purposeful. That makes sense. Stuff like start the trash compactor sounds a little different. It's not the same type of weight it would carry, and it doesn't make as much sense to the storyline. So this is now we're starting to get into stuff that's been removed from the maps, which I don't understand why. But it's very interesting. It says set up the power cells in the level. There's supposed to be power cells in Shangri-La that you would add to Pack-a-Punch. And it's a short little file, which I don't know why it didn't get in here. They had a model for it. They ended up setting up a trigger for where you could pick up the power cell, wait for the power cell to be picked up by players, glow to help players find the power cell. But it's not in the game as far as I know. Puts power cell model and trigger back in the level. Set up trigger to drop off model power cell. Set up HUD elements for all players. So they even had a HUD element for it. Adds power cell to player. Player loses power cell if down. Removes power cell from player if the level drop off. You have everything. Get rid of power cell. Put the power cell back in the level when the player goes down. And then there's all kinds of things like adding it to Pack-a-Punch. There's no icon. Whenever you see hint no icon, it's where you can pick it up, but there's no icon for it. It'll just say like press square to pick up something, or it won't even say that much. It depends. Like for the focusing stone and stuff like that, you'll see that all the time. And I don't see a location. I'm actually going to look at this for a second just to double check. There's no actual in-game location. All right, I'm back, and I could not find any locations. You guys might have been able to pick it out, and I just might be missing it. But it's nothing to really worry about right now. I don't think it's in the game, but that could also be a really good secret. If there's a secret power cell that you could add to Pack-a-Punch and upgrade things. Oh, the rumors! All the rumors to be started. Nothing like Treyarch leaving in stuff in their code just to drive us nuts. So then we go to Utility Raven, and this is something they did take out for sure. But look at this. They had the weapons locker. They prototyped the weapons locker in Shangri-La. We didn't see it till transit. I'm so shocked that we had a weapons locker. Everything was there. In this code, everything was set up to have it. Don't take away weapon. If we can hold more weapons, if we already have the weapon, just give the ammo. They had everything. Store it, keep it between games, give weapon when a player asks for it, switch weapon if only stored one. It's there. The weapon locker is in there. So the weapon locker was originally prototyped in Shangri-La, but it was all commented out. They didn't want to have it in the game, and it's a shame because I think that would have been great. So we'll go on to the next one here, Zombie Temple. And this is, like, again, there was patches. So this is part of the patches in line 217, so we're close here. And if we go to 217 here, I wanted to talk about how now we see custom add weapons. In the patch they had for this, we actually have a shrink ray in here, Zombie Temple shrink ray, which continues to make our Ithaca weapon seem really odd and out of place. Because I thought maybe the Ithaca was the model base for the shrink ray, and that's where they're no. This Ithaca weapon just doesn't exist in zombies, but we have the shrink ray, then we have a blowgun as well that was supposed to be in zombies. There's supposed to be a blowgun, and there was darts we were supposed to be able to get, like. Oh my goodness, guys. Like, how cool would have a blowgun dart would have been? I don't know. I just would have been a fun mechanic to see. But this is all something test, but only so much actually makes it into the game. I'm going back to Ascension eventually after I do a lot of the other ones to see if the actual map, the big map for Ascension, is still there, just commented out. Because that would be amazing to see if there was more in that respect to it. They wanted to try smashing through a do not enter boards, which I think we do see that. But there was also a gap we were going to jump, which ends up just being the end. But we're going to have a jump on the minecart. And the rest of this is just normal minecart stuff. But I thought that was really cool for them to showcase. Like, they were thinking about having us do some really complicated and interesting things that are so, simple for the player. But for the coders, they were really trying to give us a lot of cool stuff, which I can appreciate. So there's Zombie Temple power-ups. Okay. And is this early on? Zombie Temple power-ups. Monkey Swarm. Zombie pickup monkey zombie power-up monkey swarm. So this is another one of those really crazy things that was going to be implemented in the game. There was going to be some sort of power-up or drop. Special power-up setup. And it was going to give us monkeys. We were going to have the entire map swarm. Monkey swarm power-up. And pause zombies from spawning so we can get the monkeys in. So all the zombies are going to stop spawning. Spawn in all the monkeys where the power-up dropped for now. And then it has all the counts, spawning in all of them. Wait until all monkeys are spawned. Find monkey spawns in the level. Find a good spot to spawn the monkeys. See, to do. All of a sudden, they started, having issues with this drop. Delete the zombies in increments in the level count so we can make sure we get an AI in the world. So then they're trying to figure out between the zombies and the monkeys, trying to get them in, trying to get rid of the other ones. So we might have had a monkey round happening or something like that in a power. unbelievable what it could have been. Dude, there's supposed to be a monkey swarm drop. Dude, how cool is that? Oh, more things that are just like, God, I wish we could see, and maybe we will hope to see implemented in our new maps. I don't know. These are sound things that worked in the past but could still work. So this is Zombie Temple Traps. It's very obvious. Trap. Remember in the trailer how there's a trap switch and then they took it out for whatever reason? It's actually here. Here it is in the code. Light green, light red. It's a normal trap. You know how it works in Darice, the electric traps and all that, what they would have with the waterfall. This actually was going to do damage to the zombies as well, which was really cool. But they ended up taking that out for the Easter egg, made it a reservoir and a thing you could just push that would just knock the zombies over. It won't hurt the zombies, unlike the trap would have hurt the zombies. Zombies Zapper, Cage Light Red, just using the same model. And it's really cool. I mean, that was something that a lot of people probably would have looked forward to. And now, the very last thing I think I wanted to point out here, which is the triggers. This is the possible best-kept secret in zombies, and it is driving me nuts. I've been searching all night trying to figure this out. They actually put in a trigger code, and we can't find any trigger location for this, and you have to be touching something, and then you input the code down, or on the D-pad, up, up, down, down, left, right, B-A. It's the classic SNES cheat code, and you get 100 points. Cash. It adds to the cash. This is in here. Code triggers. Players must enter a button combination while standing in the trigger. I don't think they ever put this trigger in. I can't find a location. My buddy Roland can't find the location, and we're losing our minds. I am. All right, he's probably getting on with his day, but I am completely losing my mind over this because this would make sense to be the best kept secret in zombies if we had 100-point trigger. It's only 100 points, but you could type in the cheat code down or up, down, left, right, BA, and you get free cash, and it's added to it. All the code is here. Trigger activation, when you're touching the trigger, notify, wait, stop, watch for the code, wait for the button to be pressed, start over if it doesn't work, wait for the button to be pressed, button not pressed. There's so much logic here. And then it ends the trigger code for that. Then it has waterfall stuff for like how the raindrops. See, when I'm looking through this code, a lot of this is still in the game. Like slowly get rid of the rain and slow a player down in the mud. It all has to do with like the HUD and stuff like that. And this is driving me crazy. So then we come back to drop trigger, enter still water. Where is the code? Anything with code. When it says code, it's referring to code struct. So this is where they created all their functions inside the code here. And the function for code, it has like, if this, see, this is what bothers me. It has up, down, left, right, BA inside this. And that it's also saying the code equal to that. To get your cash, you got to be within a radius. The radius is 32. I don't know what that means. Like, you gotta be within 32 of whatever the origin dimensions are on the map. I don't know where that could be located. Radius, self-radius, remove players if no longer in radius. I have no idea where this is. I've tried in the water slide. I've tried in Eclipse mode and in Sun mode in all these places, in normal day mode. I've tried spawn, pack-a-punch. I've tried on the bridges. I've tried facing the mountains. I've tried everywhere you can imagine doing this, and I'm just totally lost. And Roland's been trying to print out the location. He's been trying to mess with the code a bit and trying to get them to actually tell him, like, hey, this is where it is, and that isn't working either. It's a common thing when you print out while testing. So there you go, guys. That was Shangri-La, and we have a lot of stuff. So in summary, probably the biggest deal we have is anti-115, the possibility that there could have been a weapons locker. There was a monkey swarm drop that could have been in there. And one of the coolest things is there's possibly a secret cheat code inside Shangri-La with up, down, left, right, BA. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. These are probably going to be longer videos because there's so many files to go through. So I do appreciate you guys sticking through it and being interested in it all. If you have the time, leave a rating. If you don't, I completely understand. I really do appreciate all the support you guys give me, and I do this for you guys. I can't thank you enough for all the support, all the love, all the amazing growth that has happened recently, and I'm so overwhelmed and overjoyed with it, and I hope that we can reach our goals. We can reach 100,000 subscribers. We can continue to grow and make a difference. We can do charity events, and I mean, last time we raised over $1,000 for charity. It's incredible what we're doing. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.